This video is designed to help you start an oil mill business. At the end of the video, you'll find a valuable gift. It's an oil mill business plan that you can download, and will lay down for you, step by step, everything you need to know to start a successful oil mill business of your own. If you are new to this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. To start a business, one must have complete knowledge about the oil mill industry. You can get all the essential information about the oil manufacturing process by researching online. This will help you to know the terms of technology, capital, market and competition. Create a business plan. Before starting any business, having a business plan is as necessary as having the recipe before cooking. It helps in establishing and running the business effectively and successfully. Raw materials. Raw materials are the main part of the oil manufacturing process. You will need them to extract vegetable oil. There are two sources of raw materials. You can buy oilseeds directly from the suppliers, or you can also grow them on your own at your farm. So according to your need, you can select the source of raw materials. Choose a place for an oil refining plant. Preferably your oil mill should be located nearby the farms that grow plants for oil extraction. Suppose, if you choose to produce sunflower oil, then choose a location around a sunflower plantation, so that you can easily arrange transportation at a low cost. The size of the land is not a big deal for setting up an oil mill. An area of 1,000 square feet is good enough for a small-scale oil extraction unit, with a production capacity of 5 to 10 metric tons every day. Half of the place can be used for production purposes, while the other half can be used for small office rooms, packing, and storing raw materials. Oil mill machinery. Choosing the best oil mill machinery is essential to get better results. Installation of machinery, and resources for running an oil mill. Once you have purchased all the machinery from a supplier, you need to install it at your manufacturing plant. Normally the supplier itself would send a person to install the machinery at your plant. But before the installation process is done, you need to make sure your plant has proper electricity and water supply. Because oil processing machines require a lot of water and power for the extraction process. In addition to that, make sure your unit has a proper sewage system for expelling waste material. Once your machinery is installed, a dry run would be carried out, to make sure all the machines are working properly. Usually, a dry run will be carried out 2 to 3 times, before starting a full-scale oil extraction. Planning and optimizing the oil extraction process. There are several stages involved in oil extraction, depending upon the variety of. Some seeds have a complex extraction processes such as sunflower, cotton, and rapeseed, while seeds like peanuts and mustards are far easy to process. The more complex and time-taking the extraction process, the more amount of power and resources are required to run the plant. However, remember that some seeds such as castor and cotton even take a lot of time and resources for extraction. They provided a good return on investments. Because, the byproduct of these oil seeds, which is called oil cake, has good demand in agriculture as manure and cattle feed. In every batch, a certain portion of the oil gets wasted during the extraction process, and this oil cannot be used for cooking. In such cases, implement oil recycling techniques to efficiently minimize wastage. Hiring workers. The good thing about starting an oil mill business is that it requires very few workers to operate the plant. A small-scale unit requires just 3 to 4 workers to run the plant, of which one person should be a technician who should be in charge of maintenance and proper running of the machinery, while one person should take care of marketing and distribution. Keep in mind, in order to achieve success in an oil mill business, you need to extensively work on marketing. Hence you need to appoint a dedicated person for this. Marketing plan for your business. One of the most important steps in the oil business is to have a marketing plan. No matter how good the quality of your oil is, without a proper marketing strategy, it is really difficult to make a profits in the oil mill business. Marketing of edible oil mainly depends on things like cost of the product, buying capacity of a region, demand for the product. In addition to that, branded labeling and packing also play a very important role in the marketing of edible oils. The use of high-quality pictures or graphics for labeling oil packets and cans, bring a commercial look to your product, and attract more customers. At the same time, proper packaging prevents oil from leaking. You also need to utilize all possible marketing channels, to sell your products, like ads in newspapers, and TV channels, using social media platforms, and tie-ups with local shops, supermarkets, and restaurants. Storage tanks are used for collecting the oil, and after storing it goes through the process by testing. The oil will go to the packaging stage and distribution, if it will be found pure. The next part of the video is not specific to an oil mill business. Nevertheless, this knowledge is essential for success in the oil mill business, as well as in any other business. Ignore it at your own peril. Operating a successful oil mill business will depend on the following 4 conventions. 1. A practical plan, with a solid foundation. 2. Dedication, and willingness to sacrifice, to reach your goal. 3. Technical skills. 4. Basic knowledge of management, finance, record keeping and market analysis. As a new owner, you will need to master these skills and techniques if your business is to be successful. Finding a niche. Small businesses range in size from a manufacturer, with many employees, and millions of dollars in equipment, to the lone window washer, with a bucket and a sponge. Obviously, the knowledge and skills, required for these two extremes, are far apart, but for success they have one thing in common. Each has found a business niche, and is filling it. The most critical problems you will face, in your early planning, will be to find your niche, and determine the feasibility of your idea. Get into the right business at the right time, is very good advice, but following that advice may be difficult. Many entrepreneurs plunge into a business venture, so blinded by the dream, that they fail to thoroughly evaluate its potential. Is your business idea feasible? Before you invest time, effort, and money, the following exercise will help you separate sound ideas from those bearing a high potential for failure. Identify and briefly describe the business you plan to start. Identify the product or service you plan to sell. Answering yes to any of the following 3 questions means you are on the right track. A negative answer to all of them means the road ahead could be rough. 1. Does your product or service satisfy an unfilled need? 2. Will your product or service serve an existing market in which demand exceeds supply? 3. Will your product or service be competitive based on its quality, selection, price, or location? Market analysis. For a small business to be successful, the owner must know the market. To learn the market, you must analyze it, a process that takes time and effort. You don't have to be a trained statistician to analyze the marketplace, nor does the analysis have to be costly. Analyzing the market is a way to gather facts about potential customers, and to determine the demand for your product or service. The more information you gather, the greater your chances of capturing a segment of the market. Know the market before investing your time and money in any business venture. The following questions will help you collect the information necessary to analyze your market, and determine if your product or service will sell. This brief exercise will give you a good idea of the kind of market planning you need to do. An answer of no to any of the questions indicates a weakness in your plan, so do your research until you can answer each question with a yes. 1. Do you know who your customers will be? 2. Do you understand their needs and desires? 3. Do you know where they live? 4. Will you be offering the kind of products or services that they will buy? 5. Will your prices be competitive in quality and value? 6. Will your promotional program be effective? 7. Do you understand how your business compares with your competitors? 8. Will your business be conveniently located for the people you plan to serve? 9. Will there be adequate parking facilities for the people you plan to serve? Planning your startup. The following questions are grouped according to function. They are designed to help you prepare for opening day. Merchandise. Have you decided what items you will sell or produce, or what services you will provide? Have you made a merchandise plan, based upon estimated sales, to determine the amount of inventory you will need to control purchases? Have you found reliable suppliers, who will assist you in the startup? Have you compared the prices, quality, and credit terms of suppliers? Business records. Are you prepared to maintain complete records of sales, income and expenses, accounts payable, and receivables? Have you determined how to handle payroll records, tax reports, and payments? Do you know what financial reports should be prepared, and how to prepare them? Finances. A large number of small businesses fail each year. There are a number of reasons for these failures, but one of the main reasons is insufficient funds. Too many entrepreneurs try to start and operate a business without sufficient capital, money. To avoid this dilemma, you can review your situation by analyzing the following 3 questions. 1. How much money do you have? 2. How much money will you need to start your business? 3. How much money will you need to stay in business? In order to answer the second question, how much money will you need to start your business? You need to prepare an estimate of all your startup costs. Here is a list of items you may need to take into account. Note that this list is for a retail business. Items will vary for service, construction, manufacturing or online firms. Decorating and remodeling, fixtures and equipment, installing fixtures and equipment, services and supplies, beginning inventory cost, legal, professional fees, licenses and permits, telephone utility deposits, insurance, signs, advertising for opening, unanticipated expenses. Now, the answer to the third question, how much money will you need to stay in business? Must be divided into two parts, immediate costs, and future costs. From the moment the door to your new business opens, a certain amount of income may come in. However, this income should not be projected in your operating expenses. You will need enough money available to cover costs for at least the first 3 months of operation. The following list will help you project your operating expenses on a monthly basis. Typical expenses for 1 month may include your living costs, employee wages, rent, advertising, supplies, utilities, insurance, taxes, maintenance, delivery, transportation, miscellaneous. Now sum up the total estimated monthly expenses and multiply it by 3. This is the amount of cash you will need to cover operating expenses for 3 months. Deposit this amount in a savings account before opening your business. Use it only for those purposes listed in the above list, because this money will ensure that you will be able to continue in business during the crucial early stages. By adding the total startup costs to the total expenses for 3 months, you can learn what the estimated costs will be to start and operate your business for 3 months. By subtracting the totals of the lists from the cash available, you can determine the amount of additional financing you may need, if any. Now you will need to estimate your operating expenses for the first year after startup. The first step in determining your annual expenses is to estimate your sales volume, month by month. Next, determine the cost of sales. You may want to use a spreadsheet to do this. After startup, the primary source of revenue in your business will be from sales, but your sales will vary from month to month because of seasonal patterns and other factors. It is important to determine if your monthly sales will produce enough income to pay each month's bills. An estimated cash flow projection will show if the monthly cash balance is going to be subject to such factors as the following: failure to recognize seasonal trends, excessive cash taken from the business for living expenses, too rapid expansion, and slow collection of accounts if credit is extended to customers. Conclusion: if you have carefully answered all the questions in this video, you have seriously thought about your goal. However, there may be some things you may feel you need to know more about. Owning and running an oil mill business is a continuous learning process. Research your idea, and do as much as you can, yourself, but don't hesitate to seek help from people who can tell you what you need to know. As we conclude this video, it's time you get your free oil mill business plan gift. Go to the description below this video to get it now. It is completely free, no strings attached. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and hit the subscribe button for more videos like this.